Welcome back to the Franchise Legends podcast, where we spotlight the leaders, builders, and visionaries shaping the future of franchising. Today's guest is someone who has spent more than 3 decades in management and business development and nearly 20 years helping professionals across the country transition from corporate careers into successful franchise ownership. As Director of Franchise Development at Shelf Genie, David Mihalic has guided executives, career changers, and aspiring entrepreneurs toward business ownership opportunities that align with their goals, values, and lifestyle. Before stepping into franchising, David built a strong foundation in engineering, project management, procurement, and sales leadership roles with both large and small organizations. But nearly 17 years ago, he made a bold decision to leave corporate America and pursue franchise ownership. He calls it one of the most rewarding decisions of his life, professionally and financially. And today, he helps others do the same. David works with professionals who are ready for new challenges, frustrated with their current career path, navigating downsizing or job transitions, seeking alternative income streams, or pursuing the dreams of self-employment. If you've ever wondered whether franchise ownership could be your next chapter, this conversation is for you. David, welcome to Franchise Legends. Well, welcome, David. Thank you for joining us on the Franchise Legends podcast. And we are so excited about learning more about you. So first of all, just tell us, who are you?
Who am I? Even I wonder sometimes. My name's Dave Mihalic, and I am currently the Director of Franchise Development at Shelf Genie. Born and raised in Pittsburgh, live in Greenville, South Carolina now. But what's really kind of neat about my whole venture is, by degree, I'm actually a mechanical engineer and I have an MBA. But I got into franchising way back in 2001 and have been in there ever since. So I'm obviously a huge proponent of franchises.
Wow, mechanical engineering. So what was going on in your life? You said you were in corporate America and you said franchising's it.
I didn't know anything about franchising, like most of the folks who are exploring don't know the details. But I knew what I didn't want, and I felt like just that corporate environment to me was stifling. I got tired of not being able to be in control of the ultimate outcome. I wanted to take control of it, and just it just got to the point, and got laid off a couple of times too, which doesn't help matters. But just got to the point that I need a new option, and started looking, and that started my path.
Wow. So you were dealing with some fears and some doubts, just like any normal individual would, jumping over into the franchise industry. You said you'd been laid off a few times. So what was that? What made that transition to be one of the most maybe rewarding decisions of your life?
Yeah, well, it actually, and just kind of back up, I was a franchise owner for 4 years. And then I was a franchise consultant for a decade. And pretty much since 2015, I've been on the development side. I bounced around a few companies, and I've been with Shelf Genie now for almost 6 years. But it was just, it was time. I felt like, I guess really what it amounted to is, it didn't hurt to find out what's out there. And then once I did, that's when I was really attracted to that first franchise.
Yes, absolutely. Well, that timing is everything, just as you mentioned, that timing
Yep.
element of our life. Sometimes we don't notice it, recognize it in the moment, but when we look back, we say, wow, that was pure timing, and it wouldn't have happened if everything else wouldn't have lined up exactly the way it did. And so it's so reassuring, I'm sure, as you look back, that the timing was perfect. And you have taken that time and transitioned into helping hundreds of people in the franchise ownership world. You owned a franchise yourself, and now you're helping others own franchises. And tell me about that.
So when I had my own franchise, it was a home-based single owner operator. It was a direct mail advertising company called Money Mailer. I did that for 4 years, but what was really, I look back and say what was special is I was helping small business owners in my market to advertise and market their business. So I saw the good, the bad, and the ugly of business ownership, franchises, independence, what have you. So that teed me up perfectly for being a franchise consultant for 10 years, where I was helping people. And then I just felt like I needed to change. And I said, my ideal situation would be to work with a great company be very happy and work with the franchise consultant groups to keep us top of mind, because I'm very familiar with them as well.
Yes. Well, you found the right fit when you were looking. And I know there's thousands of franchise concepts out there. And I'm curious, how do you help candidates now identify that fit that you found?
Well, first it's about learning about them. I really take a lot of time to really drill down and learn more about them personally, professionally. And then I get into the details of what's your why? What are you trying to accomplish with this? And then, like, if somebody is, say, an engineer and they're reluctant, I tell them my story. Okay. But it's really about finding out where they're at and meeting them there.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we talked about, lifestyle alignment or timing lining up just perfectly. So what is the financial potential here?
Um, with Shelf Genie?
Yes, yes.
Okay. What's really cool about Shelf Genie is that we are very much a multi-territory opportunity. If you take our whole system, our owners have an average of 5 territories each. Okay. And for new owners, we typically award 2, 3, or 4 territories. So with that large footprint of households, it really allows owners to build a nice enterprise and do so rather quickly.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Wow. So Shelf Genie is who you're with now, and you're developing for them, correctly? Is that
That's
your
correct.
vice president of development?
By title, Director of Franchise Development. Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. So, what's the biggest mistakes that you see people when evaluating a franchise opportunity? You've done this before, you're with Shelf Genie now, and when you're helping others find that right opportunity, what do you see as the biggest mistakes or misconceptions they might have about franchising?
Yeah, I mean, just right off the top, I would say that so many candidates out there are looking for that semi-absentee role. And we do not offer a semi-absentee model, but I very much discourage it, because people, I mean, they want the security of keeping their job, but they want a business. And when the day is done, there's only so many hours in a day. You probably can't do the business well because you're spending so much other time, especially if you have a family and such. So that's one of the big ones I run into.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can see that. So, for listeners on this podcast who are unfamiliar with the brand Shelf Genie, tell
Yeah,
me more about Shelf Genie.
I'd be glad to. So Shelf Genie is in what we call the storage solution space. We work with homeowners and their kitchens, baths, and pantries, and help them develop storage solutions such as glide outs, roundabouts, trash dispensers, utilities, sorters, things like that. So we really are outstanding at what we do. In fact, the one thing that I always boast about is that we absolutely do not have any direct competition. None. Nobody does what we do, how we do it, the scale in which we do it, and the quality of our products and services. And it's really attributed to 2 things. Our business model, everything we do is custom designed and then custom fabricated. The custom design, and this is really kind of our secret sauce, we're not coming in with a catalog. In fact, we don't even have one. Designers are going into the homes, and what they're doing is interviewing the homeowner. They got to listen to what their pains and frustrations are and the ways they wish they could live and work differently in a space. They open up the cabinets and see what the heck that they got going on there. So they build it out right there with the homeowner intimately involved in a 3D design and animation program. If the job is sold, here's the second part. It's custom fabricated in a U.S. manufacturing plant that we own. We own our own manufacturing facility, and that's a game changer. Nobody else has that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that vertical integration is
Yes.
pretty unheard of in the model.
Yeah, and on top of that too, the quality of our products and solutions is superior. We offer 3 product lines called Basic, Classic, and Designer. Classic and Designer make up about 80 to 85% of our revenues, and those come with a lifetime warranty. In fact, a transferable lifetime warranty. So we stand behind what our plant does.
Yeah, that is that. That also makes a huge difference as far as performance and overall customer satisfaction of being able to stand behind and serve your customers from Shelf Genie the way that they deserve to be treated in their own home.
No doubt. No doubt. It's just, again, I think a homeowner feels a lot better. If you come in there with a catalog and you start saying, well, we can put this here, we can put that there, it starts to feel like a sale. Okay. For us, it truly is an interview. In fact, we don't even talk about products and solutions and design until we find out what their goals, needs, and wants are in their area.
Right. Yes. So walk me through that typical first 90 days. Let's say for our listeners, they have decided they'd like to be in franchise ownership. They
Right.
would like to do this, and you've got the system in place, the process already, you've niched out a type of service in the home improvement industry that makes it helpful for your customers. So now as an owner operator, what can that first 90 days look like?
Yeah, so in our business model, and this is very important to note, our boots on the ground are the designers and the installers.
Okay.
The designers are the ones that go into the home and do the consultation with the homeowner. And in essence, they ultimately are your salespeople. And the installers take final measurements and do the final install after it's fabricated. We're not looking for our owners to be a full-time designer or installer. Okay. We want them to be adept at building, leading, and managing small teams on a day-to-day basis.
Sure.
At the same time, this is one of the reasons why we're so conducive to husband and wife teams, because we got scenarios where, say, the husband will run the business and the spouse will be a full-time designer. Okay. We don't care about that as long as we got full-time ownership coverage. Another thing that's really, really important to note is that we really have two sides to our marketing. We have the paid advertising, which we at Shelf Genie help them with tremendously. But the other side of it is the local self-generated leads. We want our owners to go out into the local business community. We want them to join chambers, join networking groups. Home shows are a huge lead generator for us. So, have a home show display and participate in all home shows. You can't be a wallflower in this business. You got to go out. I mean, our best owners are relentless with doing that. They're always finding new ways to tell the Shelf Genie story. They're just not sitting around waiting for paid advertising to work. That's really, really important.
Yeah. Well, as we know, paid advertising works, but that referral network and that, building a brand that homeowners can trust and then displaying that same brand in a presentable way that the homeowners can engage with, maybe at a home show, or
Yes.
engaging with an individual, a designer that helps them see the benefit of changing out that shelf space for a more usable space that saves the homeowner time or saves the homeowner headache.
And actually, it's kind of interesting because over the years, when I've been around owners and designers, the one common denominator of the best is that the designer has as equal of a passion about the product and the service as the owner themselves do.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm curious, what kind of financial benchmarks should someone realistically consider before pursuing franchise ownership with Shelf Genie?
Yeah. So again, we go back to the fact that we typically award 2, 3, or 4 territories. Two territories is 250,000 households, which is our base franchise. The all-in estimated initial investment will be probably somewhere around 125. Okay. If they went with 3 territories, the all-in would be somewhere around 155. And on the upper end of 4 territories, the all-in would be about 175. And then on top of that, that's the all-in estimated initial investment. We would like an owner to have some capital on the sidelines that's earmarked for marketing in that first year. We don't want them to get into the business and not be able to market it.
Yes, right. Well, you've been in the corporate world. You have your mechanical engineering degree, and I believe I heard you said MBA with that as well.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. So you've done all of these things, you've started a business from scratch. You've gotten all the education needed to create the knowledge that you need to be successful. Is franchise ownership safer than starting an independent business from scratch?
100%. In fact, the way I describe it, and this goes back to my money mailer days, calling on these small independent businesses. I got so in tune with them that I could tell if a place opened up, I could tell you whether they're going to be successful or they're going to fail in 6 months. It's really that simple. And the reason being is this: an independent business, somebody who starts something from scratch, not a franchise, they have a good idea, good knowledge of what's needed. But truth be told, once they launch, they're spending their first plus year just still figuring things out. How do I market? How do I, even down to things like IT support and things like that. With a franchise, I always say this: once you go through training and you launch your business, from day one, you're executing the business. You don't have to figure that stuff out. We've got our owners covered on so many fronts. And I always tell people one of the things that we try to do is try to take as many of the non-revenue producing activities off their plate so they can focus on the revenue producing activities and grow their business.
So tell me, what do you look for in an ideal owner?
In short, I'm looking for a big picture person. I want somebody that wants to build a large, scalable enterprise. They want to be the CEO or COO of a small business. They don't want to work in it. They don't want to buy themselves a job. And as I told you, the boots on the ground are the designers and the installers. We don't want them doing that full time, but at the same time, we want them to be very adept at building, leading, and managing those teams as well. And then, of course, the large territory size we give is, such a huge footprint. And in our business, it's very much a high dollar but low volume business. We don't need a deep market penetration to be successful. Last year, our average job size was close to 5,200, and it's ratcheting up, and then following year to close to 5,700. But that's an average job, so it doesn't take a lot of jobs to be successful.
Wow. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Well,
Oh,
David,
and let me add just one more thing too, and I kind of touched on it earlier. I need those people, that ideal folks that really enjoy going out there and, sorry about that. I need the people to go out there and, be the ambassador for Shelf Genie. I need people that are comfortable, that are going out there and doing that. So honestly, and I'm just being candid here, not to say it's, for certain, but myself, as a proof of that, like typically engineers and IT people or accounting don't necessarily align because they're not very comfortable with that. You get project managers, plant managers, C-level executives, salespeople, sales account reps, things like that. They're more used to running in a corporate environment that's closer to running a business, and they know what they have to do.
Well, that makes so much sense. And being an owner operator, it has a sense of fulfillment, correct? For a
Yes.
certain type of people, or that type of individual that you're looking for to be an owner operator.
Yeah, no doubt. And I guess I question too why somebody in any business, independent or franchise, why don't they want to go out and grow the brand? Why don't they want to go out and tell the story? I often said this when I had my franchise. You got like pizza places and stuff like that open up. If you're just going to put out mailers and flyers and wait for them to come in, you're going to struggle. What you need to do, go to schools, go to daycares, go to churches, places that you can, again, sample, tell the story, get them to come in. You just got to be out there. It's that simple.
Absolutely. Well, David, I really appreciate you sharing your information, your insight, also your advice. You've been in franchising now how many years?
About 25.
About 25. Well, that's why you were invited on the Franchise Legends podcast.
Well, I will say this. If you had told me 30, 40 years ago that my career was going to be in franchising, I would have told you were crazy. And I look back now, it's like, spiritually, I believe that we all have a plan for us. And that was the plan, to be in that kind of a position. And honestly, I don't care what I went to school for. This is what I'm doing that I love and enjoy. So
Yes, absolutely. Well, wonderful. It's so good to meet you. I appreciate our
thanks.
conversation and thank you for joining us here on Franchise Legends.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.